Okay guys, back again. This time we're going to briefly go over the light modifiers that come with the LK system. As we talked about with these flash heads, we remove the cover. Your first key modifier is this reflector that comes with your studio head. This, without the reflector, the light is all over the room. With the reflector, you put it on, turn it clockwise till it clicks. Now this reflector is giving you a focused light. When you're doing bounce light off of a ceiling, even if you're 12 foot away, these reflectors allow you to basically generate a point source. Granted, it's a very big point source on the ceiling with an angle that will be duplicated and exactly opposite the angle. So the angle of reflection is exactly opposite the incident angle for lighting. So that being the case, if I point these straight up, my cone of light is going to come out, it's going to hit the ceiling, and it's going to keep expanding as it's coming down, but it's going to come down the same way it went up. That's it for bounce light. That's real easy peasy stuff. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is direct lighting. Sometimes when you're direct lighting like this, you need to be able to control that light. You just don't want a big flash out of the can. So what I've done is I've incorporated a couple of barn doors for you. And this is an old school studio trick. It's an adapter that will go on to your reflectors, and it allows you to have basically shutters that will control the amount of light going through and what direction the light is passing through. Really handy little thing. It's a mechanical piece, but it works great. They simply clip onto your reflectors with a clip. It's super simple. You can rotate them. You can adjust them any way you want. Can't miss on barn doors. Barn doors are a great thing. In addition to the barn doors, you're going to have flash umbrellas. Now, flash umbrellas are pretty cool. You're going to get two of these. These are called convertibles umbrellas because they are both reflectors and soft boxes in one. They're white on the inside, black on the outside. And if I separate the two by holding my white and my pin there, I can pull the cover off, exposing a transparent white silk background. So when you're using these in their reflective mode, and I'll remove this cover piece, on your flash heads you have let me turn this around so the camera can see it. You have a point where you're going to be mounting your umbrellas. It's right here in this hole. It's the accessory mount. And it has a thumb screw to hold the umbrellas in. So I'm going to loosen that down a little bit. I'm actually going to spin it around so you can see it. And then I'm going to try and put it in backwards. So down here, through the front hole, through the back hole, and then I tighten the thumb screw down, and that's it. Now, the way this works, it's pretty simple, straightforward. This is old as the hills. So we're going to put on our unit, we're going to turn on our modeling lamp. So now the subject that you're going to be lighting is here. It is away from where the can is initially pointing, because the can is reflecting onto this umbrella and the light is bouncing back to the subject. What this is giving you is basically a portable bounce ceiling, okay, but it's portable, it's smaller, so you can adjust the angle of your bounce light. It opens up a lot of different possibilities. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make believe we just pulled the cover off of that. I happen to have one already to save some time here. So we're going to put this umbrella in. And now what happens is this umbrella, you're going to turn the light pointing to your subject, and the actual umbrella is the soft source of your light. Can you see that from the camera? Okay, so the umbrella is just it's like a soft disc. So it gives you a much more muted, softer light. The reflected light is pretty harsh, but it's reflected. So there you have it on the umbrellas. Pretty simple, right? Okay. I'm going to flip this up so we can get a better look at it when I put on your next modifier. Now, these next modifiers, I'm throwing them in because I think it's important that you have them. They weren't originally on your quote, but it's critical that you get to try these things out. Okay, so I'm setting this up. We're going to put what's called a softbox on here. You are going to get 2 light stands and 2 softboxes. Now your softbox, I'm going to switch around here, is going to come in a bag like this. Doesn't look much like a softbox. So it's the old saying, some assembly required. You're going to put it on the floor, go on YouTube, look it up. It's not that difficult to do. You put the softboxes together. They're enough of a pain to where once you get them together, most studios just leave them assembled. They're gonna look. I'll get this out. They're gonna look something like this. You're gonna have your bones mount on the back. You've got ribbing here. You've got the body, and you've got a diffuser on the front. So we're gonna put these on the head, just like any other attachment. They drop in, and they lock into place. That's it. Now you can turn them around. The actual lighting now is going to come through as one big, I'll use an industry term, poofy big light. Okay, so it's a nice soft light. So you can sit back and you can turn this, aim this towards your subject, and you can light up some big fossils, or you can light up some larger reflective material from a distance here. They're really handy. They come bigger, they come smaller. You can experiment with them, but I want you to have an entry-level softbox to experiment with. When you're shooting stuff like crinoid plates, or if you had a big skull there, that would be a perfect application for this. Lastly, I'm going to discuss the bellows diffuser. This is a critical little piece of equipment for when you're working with smaller material, especially when you're working on a stack. Actually, I like that modeling lamp. I'll put that on so you got some light and you can see it. Okay, so let's say this lens cap is my subject. Well, obviously, I'm going to have a lot of specular light if I ran this on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on this bellows diffuser. This is a solution very similar to the old styrofoam coffee cup or the old vellum cylinder. It just surrounds your specimen with a cylinder. So I lay this over my specimen. I pull it up over my camera, and I can cinch it up towards my lens. I put on my modeling lamp. It's going to diffuse the light going through, but it's also going to scatter it around like a little bit of a mixing chamber. And what's nice about the bellows is that it follows my lens so that it changes size as I move up and down. Very, very convenient. When you're shooting something highly reflective like a buprespid beetle that has metallic structures on it, this will just soften everything but still allow you to have an idea of direction, to be able to control the highlights. It does not eliminate the highlights, but it dramatically reduces them and makes them more controllable. Okay, that's it for basic light mods. The next video we're going to get into is some of the backgrounds and staging setups I've given you for the invert stuff, as well as some of your fossils.